I only use 10 palettes in the month of September, which is a low number for me. And it also means that I use several of them over and over again. So I really have my thoughts together. So I'm gonna rank these 10 palettes, and I'm gonna tell you guys how I plan on reviewing PR palettes on my channel here in the future. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Aleisha Budget Beauty. My name is Aleisha. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, eyeshadow palette reviews and rankings, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. Okay, you guys, so before I get into this ranking, let me go ahead and address something that's going to be a little bit different in the future on my channel when it comes to dedicated videos on PR palettes. I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and I have to be realistic. I have to weigh out, you know, my time. Time is money, time is fleeting, and I look at what gets views, what do people want to see, what videos are doing well, which ones are bombing. It's the name of the game. Like, you have to look at these things. And my dedicated palette reviews, where I actually test the palettes, do my makeup on camera, and review the palettes, they're just not performing. The people don't care. People do not care. They say they care. They say they want really extensive, thorough, honest reviews of palettes. They do not. They want a bottom line. They want to know, is this good? Is it bad? And so here in the future on my channel, when I get a palette specifically in PR, I am going to do my makeup off camera. I may do one look on camera. I will insert photos like I do in my palette roundups where you can see the looks that I created, but I'll no longer be doing these 5 looks on camera videos anymore. It's just, it doesn't make sense for me. It is, it takes up a lot of time, and I've come to the realization that, you know, it's not the videos that people are consuming. As much as I want to be the one who still gets palettes in PR and truly tests them out, gives honest reviews and feedback, it's just, nobody cares. So in the future, my videos will be much shorter, which will make a lot of people happy, and it'll just be more bottom line. Here's the formula, here's maybe some swatches, here's my looks. I may do one on camera, and then my overall assessment. So I'm gonna try to keep them at under 20 minutes. No more of these like 35, 45 minute wasting my time or your time videos. So that's my little spiel, but now let's go ahead and get into these 10 palettes. Most of these are PR palettes. A few of them I did purchase myself, and I really, because of my nature and wanting to really review palettes I get in PR, I use several of these like for 4 or 5 looks. So I really do have my thoughts together. So let's go ahead and get into this ranking. All right, starting at the bottom, this is not a terrible palette. I'm not decluttering any from this last month, but just compared to the other palettes, this has to be at the bottom. This is Buxom Forever Babe. I do really like Buxom eyeshadow. I like their formula a lot, and I'm going to tell you why. This is for very soft glam. This is not over the top. This is like office. This is demure. This is fly under the radar, but look very professional and put together. The mattes are a very unique formula. It's this soft sort of powdery, that's very buildable and blendable, and it really, because it is so kind of powdery, it does blend pretty nicely. And even though it's powdery, I don't feel like it just falls all over my face either. It's a very unique formula, I think. The shimmers are very subtle, but they're very satiny and pretty. They're not like ultra sparkly or metallic or anything. It is very much for those who want pretty makeup, but they don't want to be too bombastic with it. So I think it is a lovely formula. It's just for my taste, and compared to my other palettes, it's gonna be at the bottom, but I do think it is a nice palette. All right, at number 9, we have the Buxom Cosmetics. This is the Deer and Forest, also C16 is the number. So here she is. This is a beautiful little palette. Honestly, formula is excellent in this. The only reason why it's number 9 is just I have some heavy hitters this month. This middle shimmer here and this one are just so pretty. I had this one in fall palettes video before, and I showed you guys some swatches of how metallic and pretty this is. The mattes do build up on this as well. It's not the most like overly pigmented mattes in here, but they do build up. It's also not, you know, sometimes people think of, you know, Chinese beauty brands to be the mattes and even the shimmers to be real like soft and ethereal and not much pigment, but there's good pigment in there, just not like bam pigment, but it's very easy to use. I think the packaging is also really pretty. Then we no, it's safe. It didn't break. Oh my gosh, I didn't catch it. Usually I'm like a ninja and I catch things. I didn't catch that. Okay, then we have the Luna. Sorry guys, I'm messing with my lighting. I really feel like it's too bright. Something's going on with my lighting today. Okay. Then we're going in with Luna Magic Desenuda palette, and this is a very affordable brand. I've talked about it several times about how it's very underrated in my opinion. This is around a $14 palette. Mattes are excellent. These are more pigmented than the last palette for sure. Shimmers aren't very shifty, but they do show up nicely on the eyes. Nice and pretty. A really good affordable palette. Now the one that fell is the Trick or Treat palette, the Peanuts and Profusion collection. I had a video of the whole collection PR package that I opened up with my daughter, and that was such a cute video. We also created looks with it, and I created several looks with this, and actually this is a really good palette. I almost put it in front of the next one pretty much because of like this shimmer here. You guys, if Profusion would do this formula in all of their shimmers and their palettes, they would be so hard to beat, like price wise, because their mattes are great. Like all the mattes in here perform fantastic. Some of the shimmers are a little bit duller, like these formulas here are just a little more flat. I mean, they're very kind of quintessential, you know, drugstore type of formula when it comes to those shimmers. This baby is so special, and they have this formula in a few of their other palettes, and they usually only put like 1 or 2 in there, and it is this kind of squishy, very reflective. I mean, just a gorgeous formula. Here it is, right here. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I love it. And if they would just, Profusion, I know you're not watching, but if by some miracle, make all of your shimmers this formula, and you will be the most unbeatable drugstore brand. I already think that they're like the best. They're so cute when it comes to their collections. I think they do a great job. I think they're underrated. So this was a good solid palette. Now, the one that I put right in front of that and was like, do I switch them? But ultimately decided to put it above is the Too Faced Apple in Love palette. And what I've already said about this palette, so it may be a little repetitive for some of you, and then also on Instagram, I reviewed it. It's the whole package, like literally the whole package of this palette that makes me have it where it is, because like the shimmers in here, are they the best formula ever? No, like they're very kind of standard, kind of like what we're just in the Profusion palette. And that one I think is maybe like $12, something like that for that huge palette. This is like 50 something, I think. And the shimmers are pretty comparable, but the mattes are really good in here. The color story is excellent. The packaging is so cute. Like the whole vibe of it, like it makes me happy. This palette brings me a lot of joy. I will always think fall and apple picking. I will think of this palette immediately. It really nailed a theme, a color story, the whole shebang. So I think it is definitely a worthy palette, even though it's pretty pricey and the shimmers are just okay. Okay, now we're in my top 5. So coming in at number 5 is the Undergrowth palette from Cosmic Brushes. And I paused for a second because I was like, did I really put this number 5? Like, this is such a good palette. But I'm gonna tell you why. This is ultimately why. This quality, excellent. And you know, this one was a little bit cheaper than the one before. So I don't know if maybe like the neutrals and culturals, I mean, this was a few dollars cheaper, I believe. Unless I'm wrong. I'm just thinking right now in my head, this was a little bit cheaper. And I think the quality is excellent. I mean, the shimmers in here are beautiful. Mattes are excellent. I love this color story as it is in the pan. My only really kind of complaint about this palette is that every look looks very similar. Now, when you do use these two here, they're a little bit more of like a tealish blue-green tone. So that kind of helped change the greens. Even the like orangey brown ones in here, like it was so weird. I think it was sludge. Like if I have it under the eye and I pack it, it pretty much looks like this. But whenever I was blending it out on the eye, it turned more of like this sort of like subdued brown, and then sometimes the greens kind of turned into a subdued brown. And this is a case of a palette where the looks, it's so flattering. Like it's such pretty tones and looks so good. Really pops the eyes. It looks excellent. But I'm like, is it possible to get very many looks out of this palette that are different from each other? I'm gonna say no. But if you don't mind, if you're like, I don't care if every look looks almost the same, if it looks that good, which is kind of how I feel because they looked so good on, I'm not like mad at the palette. I do just kind of wish that there was a little bit more variety. And I've had some people ask if this is a, you know, kind of comparable to Natasha Denona Yucca palette or the Alter Ego Wild Woods palette. I actually think you can get more variety of looks from those than you can from this, but this quality is excellent. Excellent, excellent quality. So I'm not mad at it. Just wish that it got a little bit more varied. All right, coming in at number 4 is the Calavera palette by Gourmand Curls and designed by Doodles by the Bunny. I do have a video on this. This is the one, you guys. This is the one that pushed me over the edge of I'm not doing these videos anymore. I did 5 looks with this, and that video was one of my worst viewed videos, palettes wise, like dedicated palettes, doing my makeup on camera since I started, which was 3.5 years ago when I had like 10 subscribers. I think I got more views than, I'm not doing it anymore, you guys, but sadly. But let me say a few things though here. Since I did that video, I have a friend, Brittany. She struggled with hers a lot, and she was very honest in her video, and I commend her because she did receive it in PR. And she's like me. We tell it like it is. And we even talked privately, and she's just like, I want to love it, but I think I got a dud. Like mine's not working very well. I had no issues with mine. Mine performed excellent. I mean, excellent. Even when I was doing it on camera. And this is what's kind of sad about not doing these videos anymore, is it kind of does take away a little bit of the credibility factor and like fact checking, because you can go back and watch my videos and see how well these were performing in real time. Now in the future, when I'm not doing it on camera, you just have to take my word for it. But hopefully I've built enough trust with you guys. You know, I'm going to be honest with you, but I really loved it. I think it performed great. And I know I've heard some people say like, I don't even know what to do with that palette. It's a mess, or the color story is, you guys, it's just a case of digging in and going for it, because my looks were great. I mean, I loved them. I thought they were beautiful. So I'm going to defend this palette a little bit, but just do be aware that there may be a few floating out there that for whatever reason, the quality was a little bit different. I don't know why that happened, but mine personally was excellent. Okay, coming in at number 3, and I was like, oh man, it's hard because this is one of my favorite palettes now. This is the C Beauty brand, Cheeryep. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Cheeryep YEP. And then it's in collaboration with Freya. She's like an amazing artist and very creative. And this is a Sea Beauty palette, and Sea Beauty has blown up big time. Sea Beauty Mall just blown up. I mean, it's like the new indie. Everyone is loving it, and I love this packaging. It's so sleek. It's so simple. It's so nice. I love it. And then the actual color story is just so pretty. The mattes are like buttery and smooth and so easy to blend. You have all different textures in here as well. The shimmers are just gorgeous. Like you have some squishy ones. You have, oh gosh, look you guys, look, it's so pretty. And honestly, this one reminds me a little bit of the new Vamp Bella Beauty bar. And I keep trying to talk myself out of buying that palette because it's so expensive, but I've fallen in love with Bella Beauty bar. Look at this, you guys. But the shimmers in there look similar to these. So, oh my God, no, I don't need the Bella Beauty bar, but I want it. This is a brand to watch though. Oh my goodness, quality blew me away. The only reason it's number 3 and not like number 1 is I really love the next 2, but on any given other month, this one could be number 1. It is fantastic. At number 2, I have the Buxom Cosmetics Barely Basic palette. And I mean, Buxom is just one of my favorite brands. I'm kind of ride or die for them. And I love this color story. It is a perfect neutral grungy color story. The mattes perform so well. And then you also have these really shifty kind of topper shimmers in here. Look at these, you guys. And you also have, oh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. I'm not really showing them very well. Okay, here we go. So pretty. And then you also have the real metallic shimmers in here as well. This row, just quality is great. This is number 2 because it's not the most like in your face color story, like blow your socks off when you look at it, but this could be someone's one and done, like their only palette in their collection if they're not into bright colors, because you can get so many pretty looks out of it. And then you also have like the special looks when you add the shimmers. So it's a must-have in my opinion. And then at number 1, we do have the Poison Garden Bella Beauty bar. This was my very first. I held out for a couple of years. I've been dying to try them. I kept, having them on my list, like brands I want to try this year. And then Ever Release was just kind of missing something color story wise for me. Well, when this came out, I mean, I loved it. I thought, it's grungy, it's moody, it's mysterious, it's dark. And I fell in love with the formula. I do think that the shimmers are slightly better than the mattes, even though the mattes are still really good. The shimmers are really, really special. They're really shifty. Some of my favorite looks I've ever created with this palette. And this is why when I saw Vamp was coming out, I was like, oh, I need that one now. But I don't know, you guys, it's so expensive, but it's so pretty. I don't know. I've got, at this time that you guys are seeing this video, yeah, it hasn't come out yet. So I'm still probably thinking about it, but most likely I will break down and get Vamp. But yeah, I love this color story, love the quality. Bella Beauty bar is now one that if I love the color story, I'm probably gonna pick it up. That is it, you guys. That is my 10 ranking, the least I think I've ever had when I've done this, but I really try to, when I get a palette in PR, or even if I purchase something, if I'm gonna be reviewing it, I wanna use it 3, 4, 5 times. That is just something I'm committed to. I just no longer feel like it makes sense for me to do those videos on camera because the views just don't add up. You guys sound off in the comments. Let me know if you understand where I'm coming from that. If you want to complain, but this is what I'm doing with my channel, and I really appreciate anyone who has watched those videos, because I know that they could be long, and I know there are a few of you out there that I have talked to who have been so supportive, who appreciate that I did those videos, and I really appreciate you guys sticking with me for as long as I was doing them. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.